All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Got my good buddy Ross is right here. What's up, Ross? How are you, my
Yes,
friend?
yes, great man. How you been?
Life is good. No complaints here. It's a beautiful day, a beautiful Saturday. We're all breathing, and we're on this side of the dirt. Is that what they say?
That's it,
So
above ground,
above
above
ground.
ground
Okay.
still.
All right. That's cool. That's a good positive way to think about it.
On the upside.
On the upside. Cool. Well, today we're going to be chatting. Just going to have a nice little chat here, and we're going to talk about your emails between you and the Gray State and the Indiegogo campaign. I got some questions on that. They had two. I didn't realize they had two. Technically, they have three with Jordan Page, but really, that
Yep.
we're going to talk about just that main one, and there's some other things too. But how did you
Sure.
get on this actual mailing list?
Uh, I think it was just contributors to the crowdfunding campaign. Let me tee it up a little bit for people
Sure.
who want to understand. Greg has reposted my interview with David a while back. Oh, God, it's dated on there. Was that 2012? It's man,
Yes, 2012.
not like I could remember things 10, 11 years later.
How dare you?
I know, right? It's all as Greg knows. This is all made up stuff, so it's going to be really hard to decode it. But
This isn't
anyway,
even happening. You're not here right now.
it's a simulation. If you're
Yeah.
if you're subscribed to the channel right now, it's all a simulation. So yeah, my friend. So I was basically the owner of an indie label called Planet X Records. One of our actually Australian artists was the one who shared out that original Gray State trailer. That's how I saw the concept trailer, and so he put me onto that. That was around the time the crowdfunding campaign was going. Me and my co-host Gaz, who currently does my Paradigm review. It's kind of a movie TV review show that is over on my channel, youtube.com/planetxfilm. We did an old audio radio show together, and so we had reached out to David, or at least Gray State crew. We didn't really know it was David at the time. And then we kind of had a preliminary off-air discussion, which I've told you about before. And then ultimately he agreed to come on our show for the radio show. And that is how, when you see the Gray State, what was that I sent you? Their promo pamphlet there.
Mhm.
That is for the reason why you see my logo, which is actually the logo that I owned and copyrighted Planet X Records, inside of that Gray State promo kit. So for anybody who says that it's a deep fake, I would love your explanation for how my logo ended up in the Gray State promo kit, because apparently there's some haters that popped up about like 15 years after all this happened and keep wanting to tell me how the narrative went, and I find that highly interesting since none of you were actually there for the actual events. So you can actually hear me on air. Greg has heard me explain this many times, as has most of the group. But you can actually hear me on air tell David that I'm going to be one of the crowdfunders for it, and he thanks me for it. Later on, I did make good on that, and I added my contribution to the crowdfunding campaign, which I sent Greg some of the screenshots to. And then Greg also has the email of David thanking me for it as well. So there's a bit of a paper trail there, but I know that's it is the internet, so people do find things very difficult to wrap their head around. So, what was your original question? I did some rambling there.
That's okay. That's good. I just want to know how you got on that list there to receive, because there was some
Yes.
Christmas one. There's some things later.
Yeah.
So, but it all started with you donating to this to the Indiegogo campaign. Is that right?
Correct. Yes, I believe that was just a contribution list or updates for the contributors, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Well, that's cool. Yeah, so I got that pulled up here. This is
Yep.
another question I wanted to ask you about, because I don't really know how this whole thing goes, but
Mm-hmm.
it looks like it was shut down or closed on October 6th, 2012. But then there were still some other backers, but this thing raised over $61,000.
Yeah, I thought you guys would like to see that. You can actually
Yeah.
see the full total there, which is that's pretty undeniable. And I've explained this before on you guys' podcast, but that's not. People who don't understand filmmaking have a tendency to say, "Well, how are you going to make this big budget Hollywood film on $60,000?" No, 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 that's not what it was. That was essentially startup money to get the concept trailer and the project in front of the right people. And if that comes down to that's simply money for David to live off of and work off of while he completes the final copy of the script, that actually makes sense as well. It's a totally normal process for indie films and Hollywood studio films as well. There's really nothing different about it for the most part, except for the fact that most people are just not lucky enough to get any independent funding at all, or get any, studio backing whatsoever, which was, not that I'm going to come on down here and guarantee that that's what it was, but we know the meetings David was having, so we know he was getting in front of the right people, at least up to what we know about the pre-production process. So a fairly usual pre-production process, I would say, except for the fact that due to the viral nature of the concept trailer, which is almost 4 million views, it's 3.9 million views right now, it was getting enough momentum to have people take notice. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this thing, let me just pull that back up again. So closed $61,000, and there's still people trying to donate it too.
Yeah, what I wanted to show you guys was the perk levels. I believe I can actually log into mine and look at mine. Mine was the Champion of Liberty, which was $1,000. So you can see that first perk there, which is just the Patriot point. Unfortunately, it's all grayed out now, and it's kind of, you can't really see it too well. But that had all the rest of the options there. And there's everything for $20, $25, get a T-shirt. I don't know, signed copies of the script. If you look at other Indiegogo campaigns or other films, like I've done a Danny Trejo movie, I've done a Dolph Lundgren movie, they're all relatively similar, right? It's like, generally if you throw up a few thousand, you could be associate producer. If you throw up a bit more, you could be a co-producer. If you throw up like $5,000, you could be an executive producer, etc.
Nice. So once you contributed, they sent you this email here, and this does show what perks that you do get. So for $1,000, this is very important here, I think. The perk was a Champion of Liberty perk. So when it says receive all of the above, that means everything that comes after this, right? So
yeah, correct. So I didn't bust out any of my artifacts this time, but if you remember when we were on the private call with me, you and Rick, I showed you guys the ammo belt. So that was that was an actual ammo belt for, I have it around here somewhere, but take a look around. I got a lot of trash around here. That is an actual ammo belt from the Gray State concept trailer. And then I also have the Executioner mask, which, they obviously had copies of those, but the Masonic, Executioner guy with the apron that was chopping the heads at the end of the trailer, that as well.
Is it plastic? Is that mask a plastic?
Yeah, I guess it's plastic. It's almost like paper, It's pretty flimsy. I don't know if that's exactly what they use. Maybe they use something a little heavier duty in the trailer, but it's the exact same look. It looks exactly like it. You know what I mean?
That's one of the more creepier scenes, I think, in that whole trailer there.
Yeah, I found it. I think, actually you guys can head over to my channel, youtube.com, Planet X Film, and check out the deep dives that Greg and I did on both versions of the script. But if you revisit my interview with David, he actually came up with another device. He invented a device that would be used instead of just the, kind of stereotypical guillotine. And I believe, he didn't elaborate on exactly what that was. Of course, he wanted to, keep some things, be a surprise for when the film drops or whatever, a new trailer or whatever. But if I'm not mistaken, I think it was some sort of like multi-purpose guillotine. So it would be more than one at a time. It'd be, 5 or 10, when the pre-apocalypse comes, you got to get it done fast. So it has to be more efficient, So.
Of course.
So interesting tidbit there.
Much appreciated. So, what exactly was the $61,000 for? I do want to ask you that, but I want to go back to the
sure.
Let me see. I want to go back to the perks here. So I got a couple questions about these perks that you have.
It was the Gray State press kit. That is what my logo was in. So that had everything. It actually had Gray State Press. So he had us listed on all of the radio shows he had been on, which the Alex Jones show is listed here when they were on InfoWars. And then it also has what my old radio show was at the time, Planet X Radio. And then And he did have my logo in here. Yeah, under organizations endorsing Gray State. Yeah, he had Planet X Records under there. So,
Very
I know
cool.
some of the internet haters are having a difficult time wrapping their mind around that. I just want to make sure you guys get it. It's in there. If you could find the press kit, well, Greg has it because I sent it to him. The rest of you guys aren't too.
Yeah, I put that link in the chat too. If anybody wants to go and check that press kit out, we're definitely going to talk a little bit about that too. But
Yeah,
according to this, you are an associate producer, and you'll get a credit if the film ever gets finished. So, I mean, if they finish it 12 years from now, do you think that'll hold up?
I'd love to hear that discussion. Danny Mason, if you were out there, whatever corner of the universe you were hiding in, I would love to talk to you one of you guys. Mitch, hit me up. You guys should all have my email. I'd love to get an answer on that. I don't actually know, but I would love to get a definitive answer on that. I've been asking about that for over a decade now. So I would think so. You know what I mean? But again, who's to say? I mean, I don't really know the legal ramifications if the IP passes off and changes hands, or if a studio picks it up, or I don't really know. I mean, they might just look at the crowdfunding campaign from 15 years ago, like, who the hell are these guys? I have literally no idea. But you know what I mean? My name's in a Rob Zombie movie. You know what I mean? There's been some haters that have had some fun with that, saying that I brought the donuts to the set. I actually wasn't on the set. It was just a regular crowdfunding campaign, just like this one. So it's a funny joke, but it didn't really have any reality grounding.
Yeah, I can understand. That's par for the course, I believe.
Agreed. So as for what the funds were for, as I was saying, those are pre-production funds. That's just David's writing, prepping the script, travel back and forth from California, trying to get it in front of producers, trying to get it in front of studio execs, and just trying to get it picked up. And again, I kind of went in depth in this when Rick asked me. Well, me and Rick did a little segment when we did Zodiac and Cooper and Crowley, and I was telling Rick about that. Even something like Point Break with Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze, you guys all think of it as this epic action film, which it is. But the guy who wrote that was waiting tables for years before Point Break actually got picked up and produced by a studio. You know what I mean? So if you're one of those people who thinks about, like, oh my God, a Hollywood writer, he must be rich and have millions of dollars. Rarely ever is that the case, unless you're some like already established guy like Oliver Stone or Quentin Tarantino. If you're a first-time scriptwriter, even freaking Greg knows films as well. Sly Stallone, when he did Rocky 1, he was not some famous guy, and Rocky 1 basically had a micro budget. So again, it goes back to I would compare it to something like that, where, okay, you might have a good idea, you might be writing a script, but that doesn't just mean people are writing you a blank check for hundreds of millions of dollars like a Batman versus Superman budget. You know what I mean? It just doesn't work like that,
That's too funny.
It just doesn't.
We have here, this is part of the Indiegogo. Do you remember how much they were trying to raise? I think it was in
they broke their it might be in one of the emails. They broke their goal. I think it was 50K. So they went I think 11K over their goal. So I believe that was it. And Indiegogo is not like Kickstarter and some of those other ones. Like Kickstarter is like, if you set a goal and you don't hit it, it just gets canceled, and all the backers, it gets kicked back to all the backers. With Indiegogo, if you want $100,000 and you only raise $100, you still get the $100, but of course, Indiegogo takes fees out of it and whatnot, so you probably won't end up with much if that's the case. But they're all different. There's a lot of new ones now too, but back in my day, it was Indiegogo was the popular one, and then I think Kickstarter came out shortly after, and there's quite a few new ones now. And then there's also guys who do basically, if you have a name like Rob Zombie, you can essentially create your own platform for this, where you just have your own website with your own perks on it. And that's what Rob Zombie did. It was all for the horror movie 31. It was all custom. And another director who did that is Neil Blomkamp, the director of District 9 and Elysium. He made this series where he was doing some awesome sci-fi short films, one of which is called Firebase on YouTube. It's like a crazy Vietnam thing where they encounter alien entities, you know what I mean? And they were actually planning on making that into a feature film. And he did the same thing where he set up his own kind of independent crowd fund. But I think that one got canceled. So anyway, it's interesting because not really, even now, even though it's been around for quite some time, people still really don't understand how crowdfunding works sometimes. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. So you got all those perks. Did you get all the perks that you were supposed to get? You were supposed to get a shout out.
I think so. I got the poster. I don't remember if they did the shout out on Twitter because my Twitter tag has changed since. I got the poster. I had it framed. I think I still have it around somewhere in the garage framed. I got the T-shirt. I got the executioner mask. I got the ammo belt.
There's something signed. There's supposed to be a signed 8x10 is what you're.
Oh, I did get that. I did get that. Where is that, man? I should have brought all this stuff out to show it to you. Oh, I think it's in my. I think it's in my scrapbook. Yeah, I think I have that. Yeah.
Nice. Very cool.
So signed by David, Mitch, and I think maybe Danny.
Ah, cool.
And then I got the poster.
Get all of their
big fans of those guys.
All of their signatures in one spot. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Documented for the.
For comparison.
Yes. For posterity.
For posterity. There you go. That's a nice way to say it. What else did I? Oh, let's see. I'm gonna see if I have anything else about the perks. We should probably talk about the kit, the press kit there.
Yeah. Actually, I have that pulled up. I found it.
Okay,
so,
cool.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff in there.
So let's see. I'm just reading the email. So it was a lot of Mitch as far as Mitch handled all of the different perks.
Promo wise, I would say so, because if you go to the campaign, and that's one thing that I still can see, despite as we said, a lot of it being grayed out and blacked out. If you go to the campaign, where did I have this? The campaign and the updates.
Yeah.
I think almost all of the updates are posted by Mitch.
That's true.
I don't even think David did any of the. Oh, here it is. Let's see. Updates. There's 6 updates, and there's one by Hothead Productions at the bottom. That was the account, and it looks. Well, I guess you can't. Oh no. See more updates. Okay, here we go.
Oh yeah, you're right. 50,000.
Yep, the first one is Mitch. The second 2 are Hothead, or the second 3 are Hothead Productions, and then the last 2 are Mitch. And the last one was November 10th, 2012, and that was just about sending out the perks. There's also comments where like a lot of the backers commented. There's almost 500 comments, 471 comments. That's just like a little post forum board, comment board. I don't know what you call that.
Yeah. There's a lot of comments
right there. Yep. Okay, so you did find it. So so you can see that on your end. Okay, yeah. So yeah, it's unfortunate because I think before they closed it, I used to have a little bit more access, and I used to be able to see all the perks, and I used to be able to see. Oh wow, I didn't realize there was a. Sorry guys, I don't know if you were asking questions because I had the private chat up. Yeah, just some shouts. What's up, everybody?
Awesome. What's up, guys and gals?
Yes, So I just so I remember that original first show. I don't even think the group was up back then when you and Dan brought me on to that first stream we did. I actually pulled it up and I was looking at it. That was like 2014, I think, something like that, or 2015, around that. And I had the list of all the contributors with their names and how much. So I think there was like one guy that threw down the 10 Gs that I was telling you about, and then I think there was maybe 2 more that threw down 5K, and then there was like quite a few that threw down 1,000. So yeah, I'm surprised you guys are not knocking down doors trying to get some answers, because I certainly would have been.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Yeah, I want to say hi to everybody in the chat. Little Bear, Derek, Sophia, and She-Wolf. Awesome. Glad to have all of you here. And if anybody does have any questions or anything, go ahead. Feel free to drop them in the chat room, and we'll definitely talk about it. We're going to go over some of these things here. Let me see if I can share this.
Definitely. Questions about the crowdfunding campaign, questions about the concept trailer, questions about the press kit, and then, we'll see how spicy it gets. If you guys are lucky, you can get me talking about the case. See how wound up Greg gets me.
I'm sure we can make that happen.
It's not difficult.
Not difficult. Yeah.
It's not my focus, but I don't mind doing it.
We'll make it happen.
For sure.
Here is the actual press kit here. Those are chemtrails up there, right?
I would say so.
Looks like chemtrails.
I would say so.
Yeah. I always thought this was a fascinating photo. Like, what are they all looking at here? What is supposed to be up there?
I would say the chemtrails.
Yeah, it's a great
You
piece
know what I mean?
of art. Great
And
piece
you
of
don't
artwork.
see that one too much. I feel like you don't see that one other than really this press kit, right? Have you seen that one before?
I've seen it just once, just once. I think it's on their Facebook page, but
Mhm.
that's about it. But yeah, it's this one doesn't get any love at all
Maybe
for
on the
some
old
reason.
website, do they have what the old graystatemovie.com? I
Oh, you
guess
know
that's
what? You know what I did? I actually look. I'm glad you brought that up because I actually looked it up, and you could buy it right now if you want.
yeah, it's only $5,000, guys. It's only 4,695. So hey, I mean, if you guys want me to take the mantle, my Cash App is open. You know what I mean? Light me
Yes.
up, light me up. I'll take it over.
Yeah,
I'll
we'll
EP Gray State for you guys.
all right. We'll start our own funding here. Our own
Yeah, yeah.
go
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 fund
fund
me.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Very cool. Okay, so let's see. This press kit, this is about 18 pages, it looks like. And there's a lot of interesting things in this press
Mhm.
kit, but I love the way that all this goes. Now, this is just more because when what they're talking about in this press kit, they're talking about the 2013 script, is what it seems like, right?
Yeah, that would be my interpretation.
Yeah.
And
And
again, you
it's
guys can if you want the deep dive, you guys can find that on my channel with myself and Greg.
yep. Yeah, we did too. We did one on the 2013 script, one on the
Yep.
2014 script.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's good. It was good stuff. I had the same shirt on for both shows.
Nice.
So apparently
It's obviously a deep fake. Then you're a simulation. Cut
yeah,
that out, Greg. It's a
we
glitch.
it's a glitch
Glitch
in the matrix.
glitch in the matrix.
But this is very interesting stuff here. So it pretty much tells you what the story is. It's really fascinating how much the story changes too. How
Yeah.
all of this
Yeah.
changes at some point.
I
Um,
wonder how much is that as a result of David's meeting with the mics. You know what I mean? I don't know if they specifically told him to change plot elements, so he started gearing it to more to what would bring it to fruition, or if that was just a personal choice. I don't think there's really we don't really know much about that transition.
that's true. That's very true. Yep. So this is all about getting that funding. The first Indiegogo campaign yielded $62,000 for that,
Oh,
and
they're
that
right
was
there, which will
Mhm.
be used to hire the necessary above the line professionals, lawyers, producers, marketing specialists, professional script analysis to propel Gray State through the conceptual stages into pre-production, which is basically what I said, not quite so eloquently. This initial effort will give the core Gray State creative team the resources to develop a professional production schedule, a script breakdown, and begin seeking major financing and distribution deals. I don't think it's that hard to understand when you read that explanation.
it's pretty
But
pretty straightforward, I would
yet
think.
there are corners of the internet having extreme difficulty with it.
Of
Go on, Greg.
course. Yeah, and there you are, right at the top, Planet X Radio, right?
Yep, yeah, he listed us first. Holy shit.
Boom.
Thank you,
Look at
David.
that.
And
Look at that. And then there
then
you
further
are.
down, there's my logo, Planet X Records, or at least my original music logo, top right.
Yeah, now you gave them three logos to choose from.
Is that what the
Eh,
email said? It was
yeah.
it was
Yeah.
sent. Okay. Yeah, yeah. So I did have multiple versions of my logo. That's kind of uh the condensed horizontal one.
Yeah, I was very curious to see. Oh wow, he gave him three, and this is the one that David chose or Mitch
It's probably
chose.
just for spacing reasons. Maybe that's more symmetrical to the how he spaced those other ones.
That's true. Yeah,
Not really anything we discussed. Oh my God, David, you're supposed to use the first one. I don't give it. Hey, as long as it says Planet X Records, I'm good with it, right?
all good. Yeah, quite a cast here. Quite a lot
I,
of
I
people, and
like
there's
this
all the
press kit, man.
credits. Yeah,
It's
me
pretty
too.
clean. It's
Me
pretty
too.
clean.
So who would this go to? Who would the press kit? Is this like a pitch
Uh,
or I
Yeah,
mean, is
yeah,
this
yeah. Media, film reps. I don't know. Obviously, I got it, and I'm not, necessarily the Quentin Tarantino of Planet X Records. So I think he just passed it off to me because of we did the interview, and so hey, go up a little bit.
yeah.
Check that out. Written and directed by David Crowley. Produced by David Crowley. Production design edited by David, music composed by David. I've told Greg about that before. Visual effects by David, sound design by David. Interesting.
Costume props probably too,
Yeah,
since
the
he's
bullet, the
Bullet
bullet exchange. Yeah,
Exchange.
David is bullet exchange at Hothead. Yeah, yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, quite the cast there.
Yep, yep.
I don't see Mason Hendricks on here. Didn't see him on there at all. That's interesting. Thought he was like a camera guy or something like that. Maybe that came later. Yeah,
Maybe I don't know how
Hauser.
much shooting they did after that original concept trailer. I think there was maybe like one or two other promo shoots, and that was like with one person on set. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The tomahawk and the snow thing. I think that was basically it. That was like trailer 3.
Yeah, there was another one of them like running around some city or something
That was
like that.
Boston, actually. You know what?
Was it?
I'm yeah. Okay, so I was going to bring this up earlier.
Yeah.
So if you go to yeah, because there was all that that crazy, whatever you want to call it, police state stuff going down in Boston at the time.
Oh, that's right.
Right after the Boston bombing, yeah. So they did come to town, and I was super pissed that I didn't get to meet them when they came on site. We just never were able to connect. Obviously, like I was living in Boston at the time, and I'm from like nowhere near where those guys are from. They had these other. So when you go to Hothead Productions, you can go to. Let's see if I can find it now.
To their website.
On the crowdfunding campaigns.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So as you were saying, there's those other ones, and there's actually other ones that are actually unrelated to this Gray State crowd fund. Let me see. View. Okay, let's see if I can find it from here. Okay, campaigns. Oh man, there it is. Campaigns. Jordan Page's new album helped revolutionary rocker Jordan Page record an album of 17 new songs. The campaign goal will include tour support, publicity, as well as music videos. So apparently they were supporting Jordan Page. There's this one, the Gray State one that we were discussing, and then there's this other one. I don't know if you knew about this, Greg. Send the Gray State team to the RNC.
Yeah, I was looking at that one.
Yeah, right. That's crazy, right? Well, this is like similar to when they came to Boston. The GS team will be on site for this year's Republican National Convention to document the inevitable chaos. This is pretty amazing. I wonder where it was. What year that? It looks like they almost got $1,300, 22 backers.
I think it was it might have been in Minnesota that year. I'm
really?
not sure. In 2012.
But why would they need money to? Oh no, Tampa Bay, Florida. We're trying to arrange travel to Tampa, Florida this August to attend the RNC. So yeah, I don't know what became of that. I don't know if they made it down there. I don't think they ever really posted any of that stuff on social. But that was a fun one, Greg.
Yeah, I mean they all those donations are still there. I wonder why they're not on the other one.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. So yeah, that was So they did come up to Boston after the Boston Marathon bombing, but yeah, I don't know if they ever made it to Tampa. But,
yeah, I think they did. I remember they did a couple. I've seen a couple videos that they were both in. That David and Mitch Heil, they were both in it. So I think they were out there. But yeah, I don't know whatever happened with that footage. I think they were expecting a lot of protests or something, and they were going to document that and film that.
Yeah, right. Footage. Maybe it was quieter than what they thought it was going to be. Who knows?
Yeah, I think was that. That was 2012. That was the Ron Paul movement.
That makes sense because
full swing.
David spoke at those Ron Paul engagements. So.
Yep. Who is on the team? I really like this one here. Who is on the team here? So we're going to get to know. And remember, this is the old team. Out with the old, in with the new. So the old team here would definitely include David, writer, director. This is a fascinating look at Danny Mason's title. Concept, researcher, actor. That's it.
Well, are you looking at the campaign or the press kit? I'm not sure I can see.
Oh, it might not. Let me see.
I'm not sure if it's what you're looking at. It's coming across. There we go. Okay.
There we go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. This was the other campaign that they raised almost.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah. So if you look at who is on the team here, David, writer, director, but Danny August Mason, concept, researcher, and actor. That's it.
So it has DP. Mitch is director of photography.
Okay.
Producer.
Uh-huh. And then guess who they're adding to the team?
Oh no. Here it goes. All down here from hill, folks. All downhill from here, folks.
Either way.
Domestic governance of the past few years. These unfortunate facts concern everyone, which is why we need your help.
Yep. Time to go. What's the money for? Yep. Ron Paul, constitutional champion. Boom, right there. I remember that. Oh, that was a 2008. Oh, it's been so long. Can't believe how long it's been. Yeah,
Yep, you're
there's the
telling me.
$5,000. Yeah, and that was it. So of $5,000, they only raised 1200, but it was something. And they
I
also made
mean,
it's a flexible goal, is what it says here. So
right. And let's say flights were much less back then, so they probably could have easily gotten a few one-way flights for that, you know?
that's
A
true.
couple $100. Isn't nowadays after the current meltdown.
Yep. There's the updates. The last update, July 10th, 2012. So this was before. Yeah, this was before the other one. Let's see here. Because this one started in, was it September of 2012? Let me see here.
I believe so.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. September 28th is the first time there was any post there. So, okay. So this is the last one. All right. That makes more sense. Yeah, very interesting stuff there. Let me go back to the press kit. The press kit is there's a lot of people on that press kit. So
Did you ever
just
see
tons
that
of
before
people.
me, or was that your first time?
This is the first time that I've seen this press kit.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I had never seen it. Now I had seen like images from it. Like I usually see this one of all of these guys here, all these people on the right hand side. So I've seen that posted, kind of
Uh,
blurry a couple times, but
yeah,
that was it.
screen grabs or whatever.
Screen grabs, yeah. So I was kind of shocked about that we hadn't really seen this, but I'm glad that you have it. I'm glad glad you held on to it.
That's what I do.
Yeah, it's a lot of good stuff in there. You can see who
Yeah.
everybody is, but yeah, that was one of the big things that I was looking for is what are the credits, and who is
Yep.
who is the crew, and you can see it's written and directed by David. I think that
Yep.
pretty much ends Danny August Mason's claim right there. But if it didn't already, I'm sure.
So yeah, it's got him as a producer.
Yeah, he's pretty
Um,
much, like you said, he's everywhere.
what's that? John. He was playing John. But other than that, oh, look at this. Grips. Dan Crowley. Look at
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
David's older brother,
Oh, that's
right
interesting.
there. I think he's in here a couple times, doing a couple things. But
Did you post this on the group so people can check it out?
yes, yeah, I posted this in the group. This is on my website too. Or actually, Sophia posted it in the group, but this is on my website too. If
For sure.
anybody wants
Yeah.
to grab it,
Yeah. If you guys want to
it's
follow along, you can
it's
grab it at Greg's site
definitely
on the
worth
group.
looking at. Definitely worth reading for sure. Um, yeah, let me see some of these other questions I had here. Um, oh, the Merry Christmas email that you got,
Yep.
that David sent on the 25th. That was pretty interesting too. I don't know if I have that pulled up or not. Should have had that one ready. That was, well, I don't want to screen share it because it has a lot of email. It has like everybody's email on it. So
I don't. I mean, that's an old music email. So really, if people want to complain to me in there, it'll go to spam.
okay, that's cool.
What are they going to blame me for this?
I would think so.
It is the internet, Greg. Let's keep that.
It has to be. Got to blame somebody.
Yeah, right. I threw down on the campaign. It must all be my fault. Funny.
Where's that Christmas one? Well, the
Yeah.
first one that you got, let's see. That's a contribution one. Okay. Gray State Indiegogo campaign. We talked about that one.
Yeah, the
A
contribution
lot of
thing is
stuff.
just basically a receipt. Sure, that's right. It looks like that's actually from Indiegogo. So that's that's like
Okay.
an auto reply, if you will.
David sent you something on Dropbox. He sent you
Yeah,
a GS
yeah.
audio for compose. I tried clicking on it, but it didn't work. What's all that about?
Yeah, so I was telling you and Rick about this offline, and so you know, David obviously had a music interest. We both essentially came from a music background. it's been so long since I listened to that interview, but I believe we discussed it live of how he's the one who produced that music, the Gray State theme music, and
Hmm.
he wrote and composed music as we said. I think he is credited in the press kit, and obviously my independent hip hop label at the time was Planet X Records. So we had released a track with the. Oh, I think I've talked about this with Rick. I'm pretty sure. Released a track at the time with the artist Cannabis, who has a gold record, 2000 or Can I Bus, which is produced by Wyclef Jean. His next album was called 2000 BC. He was on Howard Stern show. He was friends with Mike Tyson. If you know hip hop, you probably know who Cannabis is, or at least you should. So my group, Guerrilla Alliance, we have a record called Empire of Fear. On that record, you guys can check it out on Spotify or whatever, should that be your cup of tea. And we have a track called Ordo Ab Chao, Latin for Order Out of Chaos, featuring Cannabis. And it was just kind of the single we were promoting at the time. Our Empire of Fear concept is like very close to what the Gray State concept is. It's just a hip hop record, right? So we were discussing that, and I was like, hey, even on the interview, David's like, hey, I don't really listen to a lot of hip hop personally, but he's like, I respect it. I think he had reached out, or somebody had reached out to Immortal Technique at the time, so they were going that route. And we were my group was loosely affiliated with Immortal Technique through the organization Guerrilla Republic. They're kind of just an activist organization that did merch and such. I believe they're still around. And so I sent him Order Ab Chao. And I was just like, hey, if you ever want to use this, whatever. And he was like, oh, man. He was like, actually, you saw his response, I believe, Greg. Yeah. He was like, yeah, no, this is brutal. He was like, you guys mind if I use it for promos and such? And I was like, please do. So I had sent him that. And then what we were discussing on the interview was, I guess he said there was one guy who did a kind of Gray State hip hop track. I think it might still be on YouTube. It wasn't great, in my opinion. But what David was saying was he had the essentially music files of that Gray State theme song on Dropbox. And this is actually this is quite an interesting story. I think people who are interested in the crowdfunding campaign and the concept trailer and whatnot would want to hear this. And so I was like, he's like, I'm willing to let people take that music and use it for samples to kind of do your own thing with. And the other MC in my group, Guerrilla Alliance, is Mac the Rebel from the Bronx, New York, so a Puerto Rican artist, and he's also a producer. So I was thinking like, oh man, this would be crazy, you know what I mean? Mac takes the music samples, he makes a new hip hop beat for us, and then we do this kind of like, Gray State like epic track, like essentially exactly what the Gray State concept trailer was, but a hip hop version using those exact samples. So when you watch the trailer, you're like, you hear, you can see the affiliation because it's, that similar kind of background music with the beat. So he sent me access to the Dropbox, and I did. I don't know if I should say this on air because I don't know the legal ramifications, but I did back up those music files, which is interesting because when everything happened, how it happened to David and his family, somebody went into that Dropbox and they wiped the files. They started pulling everything out. So we don't know who that was or who deleted it, but I assure you that somebody definitely did, because when I don't know if you've used Dropbox before, Greg, I'm sure you have, but when you have a shared folder and files get added or deleted, you get notified. So I pretty much saw it happen in real time. And I'm like, okay, this is, it's right around the time all those pages were posting weird stuff and everything got strange. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Right around that time, somebody went in the Dropbox and wiped out all the music. You know what I mean?
Wow. So, interesting.
Mm-hmm. So.
And I wonder if, so that would be, I think the police got that stuff too. I think they mentioned David's Dropbox. I wonder if it's the same one.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I wouldn't be able to speak to that because maybe he had multiple ones set up for, film stuff, music stuff. I don't know how he had it divided up, but I wouldn't be surprised because, it's all locally stored. So whatever was in the Dropbox was probably either on his laptop or one of his drives, you know what I mean? One of his machines. So
absolutely. Let's see. Yeah, I wanted to go over, just stop sharing that one. So I want to share this Christmas one from 2012.
Yeah, I remember I showed that to you guys.
Yeah, where is that? There it is. Okay. So this one here, this was on January 2013. What happened here? Something went wrong. I guess you didn't get the executioner's mask is what it says.
Yeah, so I think, and this is very, very common among crowdfunding campaigns where you have like crap tons of perk people, and you don't you know you got to ship out all these hard copy items out to people and whatnot. So I at first time around I didn't get the executioner mask, and then what I actually wanted was the shock trooper mask. That I think it might be Danny who doubled as that character, because he played multiple characters in the concept trailer, obviously. But the shock trooper is kind of like that New World Order guy with the assault rifle, kind of like a SWAT looking dude with the backpack and the camo, and they have that kind of skull. It's like a bandana, but with the skull mask. You ever seen like bikers when they wear that that skull mask over their face while they're riding, so they don't get like dust and bugs in their mouth? That's
Mhm.
what the shock trooper mask was. It was like that bandana, like black bandana with the white skull on it. Definitely, I think that's on the cover of the original Gray State poster. It's like kind of like the New World Order dude with the AR.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah, I remember
yeah,
that one.
yeah. I mean, yeah. So people should be able to easily look that up. But so yeah, I wanted the shock trooper mask. I think they ran out, and I was like, okay, I'll take the executioner mask. And then it didn't come out. But actually, I'm not sure if I sent you Mitch's response, but yeah, I think he hit me back and he was like, oh yeah, sorry about that. And then they resent it to me. And actually, I think I did show you guys that one. Luckily, I got the cordless headphones, guys, so I can actually step away. Sorry, Greg.
It's all
That's
good.
unprofessional.
It's okay.
Your fan base will survive.
They'll be all right. My
Whoop.
fans love me.
The Hot Greg fan club, baby. You
Yeah.
got more fans than you want.
1-800.
Get your
Look
head
at that.
chopped off. So you got the so that I do have, and then
That's
I mean,
creepy.
maybe at the end of the show or something, I'll grab the ammo belt if you guys care to see it, and I'll show it to you guys. That's one thing that's never been on air before. So
Yeah, for sure. Definitely want to check that
I got it back there in the closet. Yeah, but I showed you and Rick everything, guys. So I got two guys that can vouch for me off air, guys. It's it's a simulation. It definitely happened. Internet, man.
This was a email that David sent out, like I said, on Christmas Day, 2012. Merry Christmas. We know we're at a dizzying pace here. So this is interesting. The list of people that he sent this to is very interesting too.
Yes.
But this is pretty cool. Did they regularly send stuff like this, or was this just this one time?
They did send updates, if I remember correctly, when they post those Indiegogo updates. I think IGG automatically kicks it to you like an auto email, like your campaign received an update, like something like that. So I think you get both. Like obviously it's posted on the campaign, but I think you get an email output as well. But this actual one, that's the only one I recall, but there may have been one or two other short ones, just kind of short email updates. This is how pre-production's going, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, that's pretty ominous there, right?
I always wondered where that image came from. Now it makes sense.
I think they took it, yeah, just for that, just for Merry Christmas. The New World Order is going to tie you up and black bag you in your house,
This is part of a 6-minute short film with these two people here, and the guy is actually going to ask the girl. He's proposing basically to her,
Mm-hmm.
and so it starts with him going to a shopping mall and then buying the actual ring, and he's talking to the camera. Then it cuts to them in this house, and it's Christmas, and they're very lovey-dovey, and then these four guys in the back just bust these doors down, put bags over their heads, kind of beat them both up, and then take them out. And that's the whole 6-minute film. It's one of the craziest.
Where's that short film?
It's on the Hothead. I've included it in a couple videos that I've posted, just going over some of David's videos and stuff like that. But I believe it's on Hothead Productions. It's a very creepy one. Yeah, it's about 6 minutes long. You should definitely check that out
On the YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen that. Wow, it's always rare when Greg is able to find stuff I haven't even seen. That's crazy. Yeah, no, if you have the link, send it to me, or I'll try to search it.
Yeah,
That's
for sure.
interesting. I want to see that. Yeah, that's because if I'm not mistaken, she's an actress from the concept trailer. Isn't she the one that's in the empty grocery aisles?
No, that's a different one, but
Okay.
she is in some of the other. She's in
Promos.
the promo. She's
Okay.
in the press kit too. I can see
Hmm.
her,
Interesting.
one of the people just in the crowd or something like that. So this was pretty interesting, and this is what we were kind of being told, that this is what is going to happen one day. People are just going to come kick down your doors and take you off to a FEMA camp.
Yeah, yeah, black
And
bag you. That's like how Alex Jones got black bagged in Scanner Darkly.
that's
That's
true.
crazy. I knew nothing about that one. I thought that was maybe just a still shot that they took just for the promo kit, but that's even funnier that there's an actual short film for it. What the heck, guys? That's crazy.
Yeah, if I can find it, I could play it here too.
Wonder
But
if the
it's
Hothead channel is still up.
I think it should be. It better be. Let's see
You never
here.
know that with how strange everything ended.
That's true.
Productions.
Yeah, I've been trying to grab a lot of stuff because
Yep.
they disappear for some reason, and then sometimes they come back, which is very, very odd.
Oh yeah, I see it. I found something here. Gray State movie, District 9 Predator video co-pilot effects test. So it just
Yeah,
must
that
be
one's
basically a short trailer.
yeah, that one's different. That one's good too, though.
Yeah.
That one is I think some of their better work here.
They got a bunch of Jordan Page stuff up here. So I guess they were working there's like a few music videos from him. I guess they were working pretty closely with him.
Mhm.
Maybe he's
That's
the
right.
guy that did the rap song, but he's playing an acoustic guitar here, so I thought he was more of some sort of country artist.
It may be on the Gray State channel now that I think about it, actually. It's kind of hidden.
I'll check it after this. I thought I've seen it. Is it like unlisted or something? I thought I've seen everything on the Gray State channel.
Yeah, it's kind of buried, if I remember correctly. Maybe it's in their favorites here.
There's
Just saw it
there's a
yesterday.
demo reel. Did you ever see that? Have you seen Pandemic? The zombie video?
Yeah, that was good.
That's the predecessor for Gray State. I believe that's shot in like 24 hours, basically 1 day production. I'm not sure that I was on there the other night. Yeah, if you could find it, Sophia, let me know. I'd like to check that out.
Yeah, I just watched it last night, so it better be here somewhere.
Funny. Yeah, because I remember you were asking me about the Christmas card thing, and I was like, yeah, I saw that, but not 100% sure of yeah, I didn't know about that short film.
Jeez, I know I have it. I know I have it backed up somewhere, but I know I saw it on here somewhere. Let me just make sure. Yes, there it is. Got it.
It was on GS?
It's on the Gray State one. I'm gonna pull that up here.
There's also Bold Exchange. They have a channel. I'm on Hothead's channel. Or maybe channels. Yeah, I see the Bold Exchange channel.
Yeah, so if you could see my screen, it's this one down here at the very bottom. NDAA U.S. citizens arrested. Gray State martial law.
I'll check that out.
Yeah, this one is pretty interesting. It starts with this guy. He's here in this in a shopping mall or something.
I wonder who that is. Is he one of the extras from the concept trailer, or which?
Yeah, he's one of the actors. I forget what this guy's name is though, but it's pretty creepy.
Wonder if he's on the press kit. Let me see.
He should be somewhere. It's a pretty creative little film here. It shows him walking, then he's driving home. He gets to
that's how I'm gonna propose to my wife. Will you marry me? Oh my God, the SWAT soldiers are here.
Yeah, that's pretty. It's pretty interesting.
Not H.T. Altman. Oh no. Okay, here's the girl I was thinking of. Kelly Berry Miller. She's the one that's in the trailer.
Yeah. This is
Idea,
this is the chick. I don't know.
Oh, come on.
That is not going on record. Absolutely not. No.
Is it the kind of thing you women want to impress your future mothers-in-law?
Wow.
Well,
Mr. Hilarious.
Well, I don't know. Maybe. Okay, you're right. I'm not funny, but
not usually.
You're adorable. Come on, babe.
Should we get to where they bust in?
There is one more gift we haven't opened.
Yeah, it's like a found footage thing with him under the camera.
That's it. I couldn't figure out the name of it.
I know you did. Thanks for that. I told you.
Like the home video.
I'm not the funny one.
And that music makes it more creepy.
This is amazing.
I'm not resisting. Oh my God! What the hell is going on? Where are you guys? What is this? I'm not resisting. I'm not resisting. Who are you guys?
Stop resisting.
Stop resisting. He's
So good. So good.
What is that right there? Don't you fucking touch us! I don't fucking see you. What's up? Stop it here, tough guy. Shit.
What's the photos for?
Got a positive ID on both of them.
Oh.
Do not move.
Yeah.
Do not.
Processing for the FEMA camp.
I wonder what they did.
Doesn't matter. The world's over.
Merry Christmas.
Oh my God. He's twirling the baton.
Isn't that crazy?
That
That's
was
pretty
awesome, dude. You know what? Maybe I did see that one time and forgot, but that was sick, man. I didn't really know about that. That was crazy. I'm definitely gonna rewatch that.
For sure.
Got decent views too. It's almost like what, 24K views, 25K
Yeah. Yeah.
views. That's wild. That was
Yeah,
sick,
that's an interesting one. Man, that one. Yeah, I still have nightmares about that one.
man. That's crazy. Nothing says Merry Christmas and will you marry me like getting dragged off by the New World Order of shock troopers.
Yeah. They must have done something very wrong, I'm sure, to
Just
deserve that.
Didn't get vaxxed or something. I feel you.
Anywho, that one.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I got the mask
check that one out, guys.
Yes. Okay. So that's cool. Yeah, I think some of the emails. I think there was one where it looked like David had responded about the music, but I don't think you included whatever he was saying, if I remember. I'll have to go back and look at that one. I'm on a different computer, so I'm like scrambling for all the stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Would normally have on my other one, but
yeah, a lot of them were just the Dropbox kind of output thing. When he added me to the group, Dropbox just kicks you that thing. I sent him some other music, which I thought would work. My homies, the Lost Children of Babylon from Philly, they have a dope video called Martial Law on their album Zeitgeist that kind of fits into the whole thing we're talking about. I'm looking through them right now just for sake of.
Yeah. They had some other videos on here too that I thought were really good. These are on the website too, but
yeah, so it looks like Sunday, September 9th, 2012. It looks like that's when I sent it to him. He around 8:15 p.m. He responded at 10:14 p.m. Brutal. Can we use it for a GS video in the future? I said yes, please use it for anything you like. Again, these aren't long, in-depth conversations, guys. It's just email correspondence back and forth. Again, I never met him. I never pretended to. It's easy for people to twist my words around when they have zero understanding of the situation.
Yeah, there's also bullet exchange pay. There is, yeah, Sophia's right. There's some good stuff. Lots of good stuff over there too. And it's weird when sometimes you go, there's some videos that are hidden, some videos that are made private, and I'm very curious about what those videos are too.
Yeah, that's what I was asking about the unlisted stuff, because I feel like that third trailer,
that one's gone now, I think, but I have it backed up.
The Tomahawk one in the snow.
Yeah, that full one. Danny Mason released that, and I guess he wasn't supposed to, so he got a little slap on his wrist for putting that out there or something.
Yeah,
something like that happened.
That was right around the time that, remember, this Gray State Universe LLC Facebook page popped up, and then all of that. I think they had maybe that and a website, and all of that went away as well. So that was interesting. I think there was maybe a Facebook and a Twitter and maybe a website or something. Again, it was in existence for such a short duration that I only glanced over it.
Yeah, there was an image that I cannot find, and it was, I think it was Gray State Universe, and I can't find it anymore. So he must have taken all of that stuff down. But it's pretty interesting that Danny Mason feels that he has a claim to David's project. I thought that was pretty interesting too.
I think he helped conceptually with maybe just, conceptualizing some concepts for that 2013 script. But again, as you said, it doesn't say much in the press kit as far as David is credited as the writer. So,
right.
But he does August Mason's acting reel. It looks like it's still on the Hothead channel.
Yeah, so. Yeah. you can watch Danny Mason doing some Jeet Kune Do.
Yeah, that worked out well for him. Danny, my dude, you gotta hit the weight room if you're gonna get like me, my guy, because
not up to par, huh?
Not up to par, man. Just gotta step it up, man.
That's good stuff. I think that was all of the questions that I had. Yeah, I think that was just about everything that I wanted to make sure to cover, because there's been a lot of questions about, was this the $6,000 one, but I think he pretty much cleared that up, that this is the, this one came afterwards, and ended on October.
Yes, so I don't know about the $6,000 one, but it sounds like that might have just went to just the concept trailer itself, and then obviously this is after the concept trailer, because they have the concept trailer posted as the main video for this campaign. So
yeah, actually, now that I think about it, I think the $6,000 was just what David and Mitch Heil spent, what they spent.
Yeah,
of their money, right?
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
I think they said the actual, I don't know if the Alex Jones InfoWars interview is still up anywhere, if you have it backed up, but I think they said, I think it was, I think that they said the exact number. I think it was around 6K or so. Maybe,
it's like 6,600 or something like that. Yeah, I remember that. It was about 6K. That was pretty interesting.
Very interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think it's super high quality. Matter of fact, I'd argue it's one of the best concept trailers ever for under 10K. I mean, even if you look up El Mariachi, which is the short film that Desperado became, it was like this infamous action short film that Robert Rodriguez made on a micro budget. That still might have even been more than 6K.
Yeah. That was just a short film, I think.
Yeah. Rodriguez had a $7,000 budget, so wow, just slightly more than what Obviously, Desperado became a huge franchise, so yeah, good stuff, man. But
and then after that, did you have David on the show? Then after this, after the 61K was raised and closed, what year was that? Do you remember? It was 2012, but
when
it was right around the same time.
You know what? I think the campaign was ongoing when we had David on, so that was part of the reason why we had him. It was promo for the crowdfunding campaign, so it was like, hey, we're having writer-directed David Crowley on the show. Go check out his Gray State concept trailer, and if you're interested, get involved with the crowdfunding campaign, because on air, I actually told him, hey, I'm going to throw down for that Champion of Liberty and stuff. And then, and that went down. So yeah, I think it was, let's see.
I think it was September of 2012.
Yeah. September 9th or September 12th, something like that.
Yeah.
I believe I do have the, unfortunately my old channel got blown away at one point, so you can't really see like the exact dates, but, let's see, it looks like September 9th.
September 9th. Okay, 2012.
When we had him. And then I did the re-upload January 6th, 2014. Yep.
That's good stuff.
It's good time. Yeah, no, I mean, people always ask me about, what was his personality? We didn't really talk about our personal lives. It was all very creative, creative arts driven conversation when we corresponded, just basically about the concept trailer, about music and music related to Gray State.
Lots of music. Yeah, lots of music. You guys talked about, I think he talked about I think he talked about being a Christian in that too. It's one of the rare times that he
so,
does
yeah.
really talk about being a Christian, and some of his views on the spirituality. So I thought that was good stuff there. It was just the one conversation that you had with him, right? Just the one.
Yeah, well, as I said,
the 2 hours.
Yes, the recorded promo interview was that, and then we did have, I think maybe I'd have to ask Gaz. Maybe we spoke to him for like 30 minutes or so the first time around. He kind of just, hey, this, we talk about films and music on our show. Kind of just gave him our background of, our show being like a creative review show, but we're looking to get more into the film focus. And then he kind of agreed to come on with us. For the David haters, you know what I mean? You guys should all kind of be worshiping me because I'm the guy who kind of insulted him live on air when I told the Aleister Crowley joke that he wasn't a big fan of. So, you know what I mean? You think for all those people that hate David, you think they would love me because I practically insulted the guy to his face. In retrospect, it probably wasn't my finest moment, but you know what I mean? It was just,
I remember that.
You see where I was going with the joke.
Yeah.
It was like Danny August Mason, David Crowley. Like I just made an Aleister Crowley joke, man. No big deal.
Yeah. I'm sure he hears that all the time, right?
Yeah,
like,
I'm sure that's why he got pissed. And
yeah.
Anyway, I was just like, dude, I'm joking. Like, obviously, I would not have you on this show to, do that type of thing. But you can't win with the hot Greg fan club haters. You know what I mean? You try to please them, and
it doesn't work out. No.
No.
It's never good enough. Never enough.
Never enough. You can't please everybody. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, no, if you guys want to check it out, head over to the Planet X Records channel, subscribe. You can hear the full interview with David there. Obviously, the press kit now is up on the group. It's up on Greg's channel. Head over to my channel, youtube.com/PlanetXFilm. I actually do the Zodiac Files series, which I do the Zodiac Killer case. I'm going to be doing episode 4 pretty soon on that. I've also gotten pretty deep into the DB Cooper Flight 305 1971 hijacking. I went to CooperCon recently in Portland. Got some exclusive footage at Tina Bar, where there's a $5,800 DB Cooper money find. That's private property there, so that's the new film trailer. There's the Zodiac Files there, and then also I got some of the panels at CooperCon, which were author Bruce Smith, author of DB Cooper and the FBI. I got Eric Eulis, as well as the interview series, Drew Beeson, Eric Eulis, Nicholas Broughton, Darren Schaefer, host of the DB Cooper podcast, and Ryan Burns is my last episode with the new suspect, Milton Verdal. So, yeah, one day we need to just do a random case stream, Greg, because I heard you talking about JFK. I was super deep into the Kennedy assassination for years, so we'll just have to do random cases, JFK and whatever else. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that would be fun. Oh yeah, you do have some. I was looking for these for the CooperCon. I wanted to check out some of the.
Yeah, I got those panels. So I've got Tom Kay, the physical evidence. He's the scientist who made the diatom discovery on the DB Cooper money. He also made the micro titanium antimony alloy particles discovery on the DB Cooper tie. So I have his whole presentation from CooperCon. I have Bruce Smith's final farewell before he left the Vortex. And then that conspiracy panel is pretty sick. That's Bruce and Nikki B, just kind of going into all the conspiracies of the Cooper case. That's Tina Bar right there behind me. And the next one, it's where the 6K was found buried in the sand, which is where they found that money. It's actually underwater now, further in, but that's the exact spot. And then Eric Eulis and parachute expert Mark Meltzer talking about jumping out of an airliner. Interesting discussion if you're into the DB Cooper case. I don't know how much. I know we got Greg in the group now, but I don't know how much crossover there is from the Justice Group. And if you guys are looking for more cases, unsolved cold cases, I highly suggest checking out DB Cooper. It's wild. It's the only unsolved skyjacking in U.S. history, and the guy disappeared into thin air. He only exists for 5 hours. Crazy.
If people wanted to get into that case, where would you have them start?
We have a group, much like you guys have a group. We have a group, the DB Cooper Mystery Group, and Eric Eulis, he's been on Netflix, the DB Cooper Where Are You doc. He's been on the History Channel, Final Hunt for DB Cooper, History Greatest Mysteries, hosted by Lawrence Fishburne. He started that group. So if you head over to the DB Cooper Mystery Group, if you want to get into the new suspects, some of the science, more related science stuff with the metal particles, Ryan Burns, and so their suspect team is Ryan Burns, Nicholas Broughton, and Chris Brower. They have a website called norjack.org. You can learn a lot of cool stuff there. If you want to read a book, D.B. Cooper and the FBI by Bruce Smith, we call that the Cooper Bible. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff on YouTube. Bruce has a lot of videos on YouTube. Tom Kay has a lot of videos on YouTube. Eric's channel is amazing. I mean, there's a lot of places you can go. It just depends. What do you want to hear about? Do you want to hear about Flight 305, or do you want to hear about scientists talk about metal particles, the titanium particles, and diatoms? You know, so right. It's not everyone's cup of tea. They're like, explain DB Cooper to me, and I'm like, well, there's spring diatoms and there's summer diatoms, and they're like, what is this guy talking about? You know what I mean? So you think we're going to talk about this cool guy in a suit with sunglasses and in a suitcase bomb, and then we start ranting and raving about science? But again, it's a crazy case. It's super epic. Yeah, much like Zodiac too. I think Zodiac might start heating up. You know what I mean? Again, another book. Drew Beeson, he does a lot of Cooper and a lot of Zodiac. His Cooper book is called Paratrooper of Fortune. His suspect is Ted Braden. He's a Mac V Sog. He's kind of like the real life Rambo, if you will. You know what I mean? He's like a super soldier. Thousands of jumps, thousands of halo jumps, which are high altitude, low opening jumps, where you essentially jump out of a commercial airliner, which is what they were doing in Nam in the 60s. And then you basically pull your ripcord basically at the last second you can while still hitting the ground alive. Like, you're talking about a fearless man that doesn't care if he dies. You know what I mean? Like, that's most skydivers are like, yeah, I don't want to do that. Like, even experts, you know?
Yeah.
This guy's doing it in a war zone, pulling the ripcord at the last second, a lot of times in countries that the U.S. wasn't even authorized to be in, like Cambodia and Laos, you know what I mean? Vietnam border countries. So definitely check out his book. And then his Zodiac book as well is Sighting on the Zodiac. That's a great one.
Yeah, I think that's the one. I don't know if I may have read that one. Oh, Kindle.
Yeah,
no, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I would say, you know, Drew's suspect, other than like some of the new Zodiac suspects who have dropped lately that are just like complete nonsense, Drew probably has the most solid one, who's actually the friend word used loosely, of Arthur Lee Allen, who's the main suspect in the Zodiac movie by Dave Fincher and the Zodiac book by Gray Smith, which there's just a lot with Arthur Lee Allen that just doesn't fit as the Zodiac, you know what I mean? Like, at all, like not the right hand, just a lot of things, you know, DNA, just a lot of things that don't fit. But once you start putting him together with Don Cheney, then you start filling all the gaps. So that becomes interesting, right? You know what I mean? So
for sure. All right, well, we're going to wrap this one up here, but I do have just one last question for you. What do you think happened with David Crowley? Oh,
as far as the actual case, okay, so I think I went in a little bit on Rick's show and kind of where I landed on it. My opinion has evolved quite a bit on the case, right? Because I used to be like, okay, the Gray State concept trailer has this New World Order content. Okay, so that you know, the New World Order doesn't want this exposed as a Hollywood feature film. Now, it doesn't appear that that's the case. I've changed my opinion on it quite a bit. But before we say that, let's just say that, could you name a New World Order movie that Hollywood has ever fully produced? I mean, like a full, complete New World Order concept from start to finish, like Gray State, you know? They still haven't done it since Gray State. Since, you know, I mean, there's, you know, what, Eyes Wide Shut, and all these other little things that like throw these little conspiracy theory with Mel Gibson, National Treasure, which is a complete joke, right? There's these little goofy things about Masons and Templars and Skull and Bones. Probably the closest thing you could get is something like The Good Shepherd with Skull and Bones, you know, Robert De Niro. But other than that, there's nothing that does the whole entire New World Order concept, right? So that's interesting. But I think Dan's work of what he can, you know, if there is, let's just say this, if there is any sort of NWO overarching kind of connection, linkage, which I'm not sure that there is, but I got to say Dan's work, and I think his channel got blown away, right? I think you've maybe backed up a lot of his stuff to your Gray Stage channel. What he was doing with his Curious Case, I got to say, you know, I don't know if Dan's theory is 100% correct, but he definitely led me into a direction where, you know what I mean, these, you know, the Eric Saywards of the world, these people that you go on LinkedIn and they don't have any work history, they don't have any current job, they're unemployed, yet they, live in some room with a bag of money in it, waiting for David Crowley to call them to work on Gray State. You know what I mean? Highly, highly, highly questionable. You know what I mean? So a lot of the stuff Dan pointed out, I think, is in the right direction. And like I said, if here's my opinion on it. I'll just tell you, since you asked me the question. Like, I don't think that you need an elite New World Order SWAT team hit squad to take out David Crowley and his family. You just don't need them in order to get something like that done. You know what I mean? You just really don't. Now, if you can get these kind of, what you said about the We Are Change disinformation agents, if you can get these low level, and I mean lowest of the low, kind of characters to take the mantle on this type of thing, well, that's the best case scenario, right? Because then it's never coming back to the Freemasons. It's never coming back to Skull and Bones and the New World Order, at least not in any way that's going to be provable. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I have a lot of questions about, I wouldn't really be able to say, which way, was it David? Wasn't it David? I mean, I just don't think the evidence is out there definitively. I lean into a lot of the work that you and Sophia and Catherine have done on the Gray Stage channel, as well as Dan before you guys. But there's, again, I always give you the comparison of the of the Kurt Cobain crime scene. I mean, it's just a highly questionable crime scene. For Kenneth Maines to say law enforcement did an amazing job, and they're, opening. I mean, again, okay, so I'll come back to Kurt. You can walk in and at first glance, you can say, okay, Kurt is laying on the ground with a shotgun and it's just his body there. So he obviously shot himself. Sure, you can walk in the first 30 seconds and come to that conclusion, right? But that's denying that the shotgun shell's on the wrong side of his body to his dominant hand, that he took out the heroin and injected himself with a lethal amount before cleaning off the needles and putting it neatly back in the box. The stool used to prop the glass door is on the wrong side of propping it closed. You know what I mean? So if you don't look at any of those factors, sure, you could say there's a body on the ground with a shotgun. The shotgun, by the way, is wiped completely clean with no fingerprints on it, including Kurt's. You know what I mean? So, like, you see what I'm getting at, right? You could walk into a crime scene and say, oh, well, there's a body with a shotgun. It must be suicide. But then you realize that literally nothing else on the crime scene adds up. I feel the same way about David's crime scene. You know what I mean? You could walk in and say there's bodies on the ground with a pistol on the ground. And so in the first couple minutes, you could come to that conclusion until you realize that the sliding glass door is slightly ajar. Really nothing adds up. I mean, my favorite thing about it is when they were pushing this. And real quick, the suicide narrative, like, this goes back to like Courtney going around saying, "Oh my God, I'm worried about Kurt. He's suicidal." And she's saying that to the media. She's saying that in the news articles. So it develops the narrative that Kurt's suicidal. But if you ask any of his personal friends, not a single one of them will back up that theory. Not, Buzz Aldrin from the Melvins. What up, Rick? Not, any of his music friends, any of his personal friends. No one else will say that. So I that's a comparison I've been looking to make with you, is like, I feel like it's the same way with the David Crowley was overly depressed and he was breaking under the pressure of, now the financial pressure, there might be a little bit of argument to be had there, but he lost control on cannabis and mushrooms and absinthe. Like, that's a huge reach and a stretch for me. Like, I really don't see that one panning out. And my favorite one of all was the one that Greg disproved, which is, this got roped into that false narrative. He created a playlist called Ascension so he could play his pre-selected background soundtrack while he killed his family and performed this ritual. And then Greg later pointed out that was a USB device called an Ascent. Is that not a far cry from an Ascension playlist, which is music to kill your family to, oh, no, it's just a device called Ascent. Like, again, another massive reach. So, like, for me, when you start constructing the narrative, it starts falling apart. You know, tons of questions about missing things from the crime scene and paleo. You know what I mean? That as well. So I mean, I wouldn't be able to actually like exactly point you into the narrative of what exactly happened, but all of those stories about people coming into the house afterwards, taking these strange pictures of a decomposing hand, probably looking through the hard drives and looking through David's stuff. It's like it simply doesn't make sense. What I think you guys need to do is what my boy like, and I totally agree with you guys that, you know, it would be nice to just have the ruling changed, but I think that's a highly difficult path. I think what you guys need to do is what my boy American Spy Fox is doing for the Cobain case, which is you got to fight to get the autopsy or the ruling narrative changed to undetermined, because once you get it changed to undetermined, it's a much easier path to getting the case reopened. Like I know you think that it's more of a murder and things of that nature, which I tend to agree with, but I think dude, you're dealing with law enforcement, Greg. Like, you know how difficult it is to get them to admit they're wrong. You know what I mean? It's almost impossible. So instead of having them shift it from a, you know, murder, suicide, you know, however, then, you know, if you could at least get it changed to undetermined, that opens the path to, you know, getting some of that evidence analyzed properly and whatnot. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think it's a highly questionable crime scene. I mean, I think it warrants more investigation, which you guys are doing. You know, of course, the Gray State Project makes it weird. You know, back to Dan Hennon and the curious case of Eric Sayward, who passed away, and all of these people who pointed out, and the fact that, as you guys said, they aren't even questioned by police. You know what I mean? I don't know. It brings a lot of questions. I mean, I think if there is a motive, I think you certainly do have that motive with these people think that they're going to inherit the script and bring it to Hollywood and get this investment. Oh my God. David was trying to get us all to sign, you know, as you've shown through your research, you actually have the emails or the posts of David saying, you know, I'm trying to get these people to sign their rights away. You know, the fact that wasn't even looked into is crazy to me. You know what I mean? Because they say like, oh, well, you know, you walk in and before I go, and I hope you guys finish up the Ken Main series so I could come on with you at the end of that, because he literally goes, oh my God, the gun in the safe? Oh, well, dude, you'd have to come in and you'd have to make them go get the key for you and all that stuff. Like, he goes off on his own hypothetical tangent. I'm like, how about just coming in with a firearm and putting it to David's? Well, you said it was Kamel's fingerprints who opened the safe. So in that case, you would put the firearm to David and you say, hey, you're gonna go open the safe because all of you are pre-programmed for the, you know what I mean? So I didn't really understand his argument there of like, you have to do all these extra things. No, you wouldn't. You could just take Rania and put her at gunpoint. Hey, go open the safe or I'm going to kill your daughter, right? That you could pretty much get anybody to do whatever you want with that type of extortion. So I just didn't understand his you know, I'm thinking for a guy with this experience, like, you just really didn't think this scenario through, you know? So,
well, yeah, he should have looked at it, because the interesting thing about the gun safe is that it doesn't have David's DNA on it, only Kamel's. That's pretty interesting. So, well,
you see what I'm saying? So you put David at gunpoint, or you put Rania at gunpoint. Kamel, go open the safe. Okay, now you have it opened with David's gun. With Dave, you know what I mean? So it's not that complicated. The fact that he couldn't reason that out, I have more on him for you guys later. But his DB Cooper suspect is absolutely terrible. His Zodiac work is mediocre, but I don't know. I just didn't. Well,
we're gonna probably come back next week maybe, and you're definitely welcome to join. We'd love to have you join that panel. And yeah, sure. we have at least one or two more shows. We did a 4 hours. The first show was a 4-hour show, and we only got to about 20 minutes of that hour-long video or something. So, and I haven't watched it. I've only seen it while we're watching it.
Yeah, for sure. In real time. Yeah. I watched it, and I watched the whole thing just to see, okay, like, what is he saying? It's like, and the fact, I love how he's like reading the questions from you guys at the end. He's like, I mean, these are just ignorant questions, people who just don't know. And then, like, yet he's ignoring all these things about the crime scene himself. So I'm like, I don't understand this argument. I mean, you're talking about a guy whose DB Cooper suspect is Richard Floyd McCoy, who did a DB Cooper copycat hijacking. He wore makeup all over his face. He sweated it out because he got nervous, and then he left his hijacking instructions labeled hijacking instructions in the airport before he did it.
Wow.
Does that sound like DB Cooper to you, Greg? The guy who is completely calm and collected, made absolutely no mistakes. Richard Floyd McCoy brought his own parachute, set it off in the plane, and knocked out a stewardess. So you know what I mean? It's like, dude, that's your suspect? Like, are you kidding me, man? Like that doesn't match Cooper at all. So I mean, that's just one example of Mains's work not quite panning it out. Literally nobody in the Cooper vortex thinks Richard Floyd McCoy was DB Cooper. You know what I mean? So that's the guy you're dealing with. So just take that in consideration when you're listening to his Crowley case feedback.
Yeah, sure. And I also heard that Kenneth Mains also, as far as John F. Kennedy, he also thinks that it went down the way that our government told
That doesn't
us.
surprise me at all. That doesn't surprise me at all. So he believes the magic bullet theory on Kennedy, meaning he believes the magic bullet theory on Crowley. So that pretty much says everything you need to know about that guy. Like, how could you even think that on JFK? Nobody thinks that on JFK. You know what I mean? But hey, whatever. He loves the one man lone wolf theory. You know what I mean? And I don't know. He definitely has brought some good things to Zodiac, especially. So I want to credit him where credit's due on Sherry Joe Bates, the Riverside activity. My third episode, I think you saw that one of Zodiac Files. He did bring some new things to light on Riverside. But yeah, even on the show on Zodiac, you can tell like they just hired them for TV, and he didn't even really, he didn't really know the case that well. I'm like, dude, you're gonna go and do like an 8-episode History Channel. Nice one, Rick. You're gonna go on History Channel and do this whole series about Zodiac when like you don't even know basic case knowledge of each one of the canonicals. That's like me going like on Jack the Ripper and being like, oh yeah, where's Whitechapel? It doesn't make any sense. What up, Catherine? But yeah, that's my spiel. Yeah, if you guys finish it up, I'll definitely jump on the end of that show and get it popping. But you guys can hit me up on Twitter with anything on Zodiac Cooper Crowley. There's my tag. Head over to the YouTube, subscribe. Zodiac Files episode 4 is coming soon. Definitely want to get some more things popping off, but it's tough to get everything. I don't know how Greg does it.
I'm gonna put your link in the chat here too before we
for sure
we head off. But thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you coming on and for passing that stuff on to us. There's a lot of interesting things in there. So it just kind of backs up a lot of stuff that we've been saying. I love how it shows who this team was back then. It makes it very clear who this team was, because we also know the team. There is no team later on. It shows David Crowley is the only writer of this thing, which I think is very fascinating. It shows Danny Mason is just a quote unquote actor, a researcher, and I forget what the other thing was.
Producer, co-producer, something like that.
Something like that, but
pretty much the same title as me.
Yeah, that's true. And if that movie ever gets made, you will have the title of associate producer. I found that fascinating.
Maybe I would get my credit and he wouldn't. Wouldn't that be hilarious?
That would be funny.
I'd have more argument of a stake than him. But yeah, man, guys, definitely if you're interested in what me and Greg were talking about, I would say go check our deep dives on my channel of the 2 scripts, and check out that press kit. There's some cool stuff in there. I think Sophia posted that, or Catherine, one of them posted it.
Yep. Posted it in the group. We have it on my website. It's definitely out there for anybody that wants to just read it. It's good definitely stuff. worth reading. There's a lot of good stuff in there. So thank you again, brother.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I've been meaning to get that too for a while. I know I kept telling you, and it took me a while, but better late than never, baby. PXF.
That's right. We do
it. Thanks, guys.
All right, everyone. We'll chat later, and God bless you all. And hopefully we'll come back next week. Probably, I don't know if we'll do it Saturday or Sunday, but I'll definitely send you that link to just join, and we'll take our third dive into the Kenneth Mains story. I guess we'll see. We'll talk about his. We'll watch his video and we'll make comments on it. That's what we're pretty much gonna do there. So that should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I have coffee today. I may need some wine for that one though.
I think so. Yeah. I should be around Sunday. Yeah. No, cool, it's I don't know. I'll let you guys handle that.
All right.
Cool
Well,
stuff,
until
guys.
next time, God bless you all, and thank you for joining, for watching, and make sure you go and check out Ross's channel because he does have a lot of great stuff over there. That Zodiac stuff is just that's a fascinating rabbit hole, I would say. The whole DB Cooper, which I'm just kind of getting caught up on. I'm kind of quiet in that group, but I do like going into that group just to see what people are
They
saying.
move
what
fast over there, man.
posting they do.
I always tell them I wish Zodiac moved that fast because the way they crowdsource, they find amazing material. And Zodiac Files episode 4 coming soon. I think you guys are gonna like that one. We're gonna have some more suspects and some new fresh stuff. So
Very cool. I look forward to that one.
Yes. So subscribe and join up in the group Justice for David Crowley and Family. Yeah,
that's right. All right, everybody. Until next time.
Rick, Catherine, Sophia, peace, guys. Thanks for coming through.
Peace out.